The Israeli Prime Minister has delivered a speech before America's largest pro-Israel lobby, to make a case against a nuclear deal the Obama administration is negotiating with Iran. Benjamin Netanyahu spoke to members of the American-Israel Pubic Affairs Committee, AIPAC, in Washington, D.C. on Monday, telling attendees that the deal is a threat to Israel's security. Iran is the foremost state sponsor of terrorism in the world, he said, as he warned against Iran developing a nuclear weapon. As Prime Minister, I have a moral obligation to speak up in the face of these dangers while there is still time to avert them. Israel fears that U.S. President Barack Obama's Iran diplomacy, with an end-of-March deadline for a framework accord, will allow Iran to develop atomic weapons, something the country denies seeking. Netanyahu made the speech, a day before he is to deliver a similar address before the Republican-controlled U.S. Congress. By accepting an invitation from the Republican Party to come to the U.S. and address the opposition-controlled Congress on Tuesday, Netanyahu angered the Obama administration. He has described his trip to the U.S. as a historic mission. A senior Israeli official said on Netanyahu's flight that Congress could be the last break for stopping a nuclear deal with Iran. Also addressing the 16,000 AIPAC delegates are Samantha Power, the U.S. ambassador to the UN, and Susan Rice, National Security Advisor, who last week criticized Netanyahu's upcoming speech as destructive to the US-Israeli relations. The United States will not allow Iran to obtain a nuclear weapon, period, Power said ahead of Netanyahu's speech. There will never be a sunset on America's commitment to Israel's security. No offense intended. In his speech, Netanyahu said that he has no intention to disrespect President Obama or the U.S. presidency. Al Jazeera's senior political analyst, Marwan Bishara, however said that that's exactly what he has done. Reporting from Washington, D.C., Al Jazeera's Tom Ackerman said that Netanyahu's presence in the U.S. Capitol has created political tensions between Republicans and Democrats, with some Jewish Democratic members of Congress boycotting the speech. On Sunday, a member of Netanyahu's entourage told journalists that the Israeli government knows a great deal about the emerging agreement. In our view, it is a bad agreement. The official would not indicate the source of the excellent information Israelis have about the deal between Iran and the Western powers that would prevent Iran from developing a nuclear bomb. In Geneva, U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry cautioned Israel not to undercut Iran nuclear negotiations that resumed in the Swiss city. Speaking to reporters before a meeting with his Iranian counterpart Javad Zarif, Kerry struck a balance between defending Israel before the UN Human Rights Council, which Washington has long accused of anti-Israel bias, and also suggesting the Israelis not undermine the talks. We are concerned by reports that suggest selective details of the ongoing negotiations will be discussed publicly in the coming days, he said, apparently alluding to Netanyahu's planned Tuesday speech to U.S. lawmakers. Doing so would make it more difficult to reach the goal that Israel and others say they share in order to get to a good deal, Kerry said. Israel's security is absolutely at the forefront of all of our minds, but frankly so is the security of all of the other countries in the region. So is our security.